Hey, what's up, y'all? So it's been about a week since the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation has happened, and a lot of interesting things has happened. A lot of crazy things has happened. The Nintendo Switch 2 price was released. There's been a lot of backlash regarding the games. Nintendo, Doug Bowser's answering questions in the most Don Matrick, Ken Kutaragi way possible. And, everybody's entitled to that opinion, but I was actually also kind of interested. This got me kind of interested and curious on what the original Switch, what the reception was like, and see if it's any different, see if anything has changed. So, let's check this out. I was reading through some of this, and it's actually kind of interesting. Okay, I'm going to show you two different forums. One is from Nintendo, the other is from PS4. First is from Nintendo. Okay, so is this meant to be a replacement for the Wii U? It seems like the same concept, but more portable. Does it have better graphics or anything that would make it an upgrade? So this person just wants to be clarified on what type of system this is. €330 for a console with not so great specs, but you have to pay a subscription fee for. um, Kind of excited for the new Mario game. It looks like it could be really good. Been waiting for a true free roam Mario game again for a long time. They can't even make good party games anymore. 1-2 Switch was god awful. What a joke! And they think people will pay $50 for that. That's wild. I remember when they first announced that, I was like, okay, cool, packing game. Oh, you gotta pay $50? I ain't paying that. And now they have that welcome tour, which is only $10. And you know what? I blame whoever bought 1-2 Switch. 1-2 Switch was successful, they made another one. And you know what? Because 1-2 Switch was successful, Welcome Tour is getting paid. So whoever bought 1-2 Switch, it's your fault. No, not really, but man, I can't believe people bought that. Anyway, enough ranting on that. Um, probably wasted effort, but I'm gonna stream my thoughts. I was supposed to stream thoughts at 299 Fair. Let's see. It's kind of a lot. I'm not gonna read this entire thing. Pro innovating. But yeah, that's kind of a lot. Is anyone else bothered by the two Joy-Cons being different? You're supposed to be able to slip them off, and they become two separate controllers for two-player games. But one has a joystick on the far left, and the other has a joystick in the middle of the controller. It's horrible economics. Economics. Anyway, can't speak English sometimes. But my big question is: going to be region lock too? Nope. It ended up not being region lock. I don't remember if they announced that in the presentation. If you don't have much interest in the handheld aspect of the Switch, it's worth buying. Just want Mario and Zelda. I'm kind of disappointed. I probably won't be buying it till next year. But we have at least some nice games. I get that people are hyped because of Zelda, which I'm unfortunately not. So there's no reason for me to buy it now, only to let it become dusty to the holiday. I really don't know what Nintendo was thinking when they decided to present it now and only finished one title. Okay. Let's see. Anything else? I'm sure to get downvoted to hell, but I really do expect this to be the last console from Nintendo after the presentation market shares dropped, and every game blog that I read today are talking about how awful the price point is. $300 for a console? Fair enough. It's new, even if the tech will be outdated on release. But $70 for a Pro controller and $80 for another regular gimmicky Switch controller? The main reason anyone I know buys a Nintendo console is for couch co-op. Only 32 gigabytes of storage. Seriously, paid online? With Nintendo's awful track record of online play, the launch lineup is pretty subpar too. If you're going to buy it and think you'll enjoy it, that's rad. But I really expect this to fail. Maybe, hopefully, I'm wrong about it. That kind of sounds familiar actually with this Switch 2 that's going to go on right now. People are complaining about the console. I think it's fair. I think actually a lot of people think it's fair, but I've seen people complain that the console itself is too expensive. A lot of people are complaining about the accessories, and that's fair enough. They are expensive, but also the regular Switch accessories were also really expensive. See, the only thing that people are not complaining about is the games. I mean, or the games back then, the prices. Everyone's complaining about the game prices right now. but hopefully that's fewer and far between in terms of Switch. But let's get back with the original Switch one. Yeah, this person complaining about the price as well. Wow, only $299, $7 for a Pro Controller, $80 for a Joy-Con, $30 for Joy Grip, and paid online too. That doesn't come with many games. Very few games to play at launch anyway. Why are this dumb? Why are they dumb? Um, let's see. Oh, there we go. A more positive one. Let's go. Getting at launch for Zelda. Can't wait for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Sonic Generation, Sonic Mania, Has Been Heroes. That's an underrated game, by the way. Shin Megami Tensei, Dragon Quest, Xenoblade, Dragon Ball, Bomberman, and Fire Emblem Warriors. I'll get Mario Kart 8, Fire Emblem, Shin Megami Tensei, Xenoblade, and 2K at later dates, probably at a price drop. If they get Madden, MLB, and NHL though, hype. But that's reaching. I hope they can get a good FPS. Um, Overwatch would be great fit for Nintendo. I feel I can I can't wait, but I'm looking forward to them. Okay, but as you can see, people are kind of split on this. As this point, person is disappointing. Fair price point, pay online. A lot of people are complaining about the online and the launch time. That seems to be the most complaints are by the pay online, launch lineup, and the accessory prices. Okay, but you know what? Let's go to the PlayStation 4. They probably are not more positive, but we'll see. Pretty lackluster, to be honest. I lost almost all interest when they showed the motion controls. Zelda looks absolutely incredible and is the only game I want. Lucky for me, it's on the Wii U. I got Sonic 06 vibe from the new Mario. The rest of the games didn't interest me. Also, 32 gigabytes. Are you serious? We will see how much third-party games you will get in a year. I will not be buying Switch this year or next. The Sonic 06 vibes from the new Mario was wild. After that presentation, I don't blame people who are getting a PS4 now. My impressions of tad too expensive. Controllers seem both neat and gimmicky. Launch lineup seemed rather abysmal, even with Zelda there. Third-party support seems very unsure, despite some announcements. We'll probably not get one at launch, but will probably get one at some point. Accessories are the parts that kills me. $7 for a Pro Controller, $50 for one side of Joy-Cons, $70 for two, $80 for a dock. Yeah, even more complaints about the accessories. Arms looks fun. Zelda looks cool, but Nintendo fans who already have a Wii U don't need to buy a Switch for that. Rest didn't seem that interesting for someone who doesn't follow the Fire Emblem Persona series. Mario not being a launch title is an obvious mistake. Honestly, the scenes of Mario in real world areas with real people just look weird. And that's what made it awesome. At least in my opinion. I really, really wanted to like this conference. I watched with full intention, trying to pre-order one ASAP. When it's finally over, I couldn't believe it. You don't talk about things like backwards compatibility or the Nintendo eShop. They talk about motion controls that nobody was asking for 20 minutes. I don't get this company. Their console is this console is their last shot at hardware game, and everyone loves them so much that they're willing to look past the Wii and Wii U in order to throw money at them. And then they came out with this conference. Another gimmick Nintendo console with a slew of rehashes from years ago. Can't say I'm surprised. I'm disappointed in Nintendo yet again. That new Mario looks dope though. It ended up being very dope. Um, can't wait to play the Mario and Zelda on PS5. Let's leave it as that. It was definitely disappointing from day one to not even getting it this year. Oh, it was definitely disappointing and moved from day one to not getting it this year. I got it. They shoot themselves in the foot with that 32 gigabyte storage. Third-party devs want somewhere they can offer DLC, and if that isn't even possible on the console without the user having to upgrade, yeah, I mean that storage when it first came out, that was a big disappointment. I remember, I'm gonna say NBA, maybe it was Skyrim, one of those games. immediately, it was LA Noir. I can't remember. Anyway, one of the games that came out within the launch window already could not play, already could not fit the entire game on the internal storage that you had to buy an SD card for. That was already disappointing. But in the end, it didn't matter. um, Nintendo is over. I hate to say that, but it's true. This company's totally out of touch. That is embarrassing. I was hoping for some system that would revitalize the glory days of Nintendo, but instead we get the Wii U 2.0, more gimmicks and more bizarre presentations and design choices. Um, Really bummed. There's no denying Breath of the Wild and Game of the Year material. Probably the most exciting game this year for me. And I'm not even a Zelda/Nintendo fan, but it is not worth the $300 entry point. We'll grab the cons from the game down the line, but I was really hoping on getting day one. Okay. Okay, I think this is a little bit more positive. I found the game to be overall be pretty good. We know Nintendo usually brings their A games when it comes to their first party titles like ARMS, Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, strong lineup for the future in my opinion. Shin Megami Tensei on Switch is also great. I worry about the price for online though. Nintendo's always been heavy-handed when it came to online interactions with other players. I'm not holding my breath that they learn their mistakes from the front. Overall, I'm interested. Will be a day one purchase? Nope. Um, I'll wait until the latter of half of 2020, 2018, most likely. Okay, I'm not gonna read this entire thing, but this person's excited for the Switch, so I'm gonna read some of it. Gonna go against the grain here and say I'm really excited for the Switch. Whilst I haven't seen the presentation itself, I've seen the vast majority of stuff that came out over the day, and I must say I like most of what I saw. Okay, so they're interested in Breath of the Wild, uh, Mario Odyssey. But yeah, here's someone who is really excited as a topic of Pay Online. I'm actually surprised that didn't happen sooner. I'll eventually drop either Xbox Live or PSN and migrate all my all multiplayer games over to one of them, more likely the PS4, which will free up funds for the Nintendo Switch Online. I understand it's necessity. I understand its necessity. I wasn't mad when Sony introduced it, so it'd be illogical thinking for me to get mad when Nintendo does it. Um, just another gimmicky hardware for Nintendo, straight up disaster. Anyone who thinks this presentation is worthwhile is completely delusional. Ouch. Um, okay, but yeah, seems like it's mostly negative. So this person says it can be another Wii U failure. Pay for online, price of the console. Here's the good you're going to get. Controller prices are ridiculous. Accessories are getting absolutely ridiculous. Launch lineup is very weak. Third party support, 32 gigabytes of internal storage. Um, yeah. So overall, as you can see, the reception was pretty mixed. Actually, I felt it was mostly negative, but at least that's from what I saw. You can look at it yourself and to check out the answers and see if you can find more positive ones as it goes down. But you can see a lot of people are complaining about the price. A lot of people are complaining that they had to buy one Switch, and that's $50. That's an insane price. Um, but the one thing that rubbed people the wrong way is when Doug Bowser, when they asked him about the price, he said, "That's why we have the Switch One. You can just get the Switch One." That really sounds like to a lot of people how Don Matrix said for the Xbox One. And honestly, I think what made it far worse, though, is when Jeff Keighley said, stick with their 360. That's your answer. Also, Ken Kutaragi, he was a Sony boss when the PlayStation 3 was announced, and they announced a $600 price point, and people are not happy about the price. And when they asked him about it, he also gave kind of like a brain dead answer. He said, our goal for the PlayStation 3 is for consumers to think themselves, I will work more hours to buy one. We want people to feel that they want it, irrespective of anything else. That also rubbed people the wrong way. It's like, you're telling us to get a second job just to afford this? It's almost like that they're a little bit out of touch, some of these CEOs, and these tend to rub people the wrong way. Now, the PlayStation 3 ended up being very, very successful. The Xbox One was a moderate success, but not super successful. I think around the success with the GameCube. So, which way will the Switch 2 swing? I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not going to be as successful as the original Switch. But I still think it could be successful because you know what set apart the PS3 and the Xbox One is the exclusives. The PS3 had excellent exclusives. The Xbox One was around the time where they did start doing the day and date with PC thing, and me, who got an Xbox 360 and absolutely loved it, chose not to get an Xbox One, not because of what Don Matrick said, was because I had a pretty good PC, and I knew I didn't need to buy an Xbox One to now play the great Xbox exclusives. So, which way would it go? I'm going to swing way that's going to go more towards the PS3, just because Nintendo has great exclusives and people just love playing it and they will buy a Nintendo console just to play great Nintendo games. It's probably going to sell well when they make the next Animal Crossing or Super Smash Bros. Or Mario or Zelda, or maybe ARMS. So overall, I think the Switch 2 will be fine. But I just found it kind of interesting to kind of go back in which in my mind the original Switch is mostly positive to find out that a lot of people had problems with it and even had a lot of people screaming that the original Switch was going to flop and Nintendo could possibly end up being a third party developer after the original Switch. Obviously, it ended up going completely different, and there's no hate to anybody because we never know how this is going to turn out. Maybe some are going to succeed, maybe some are going to fail. We really don't know. It's unpredictable. So I'm a gamer. I'm a true gamer at heart. I want all consoles to succeed. I want every game to be great. Unfortunately, it doesn't always go that way, but we shall see. So, what are your thoughts on this? Are you kind of surprised at the reception of this? Actually, also maybe Reddit is more negative than positive. I don't really go on Reddit, so I'm not 100% sure. So, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Okay, bye.